Have you ever reached a point in your life where everything seemed to be falling apart? Maybe you worked so hard toward a goal, studying tirelessly, pushing yourself day after day, giving your all, but the success you dreamed of just didn't come. Perhaps you faced failure after failure, disappointment after disappointment, and the weight of those moments made you question if it was even worth trying anymore. You might have thought, maybe I'm just not meant to succeed, or maybe I should just give up. I want you to pause for a moment and think about that feeling, because it's something everyone experiences at some point or another. And here's the question that matters: what if that very feeling, the urge to give up, is actually the moment right before your breakthrough? Imagine a scenario. You're climbing a mountain, struggling with every step. The summit seems so far away, the air thin and heavy and your body aching. You want to stop, you want to turn around, but then something inside you, a whisper, a hope, tells you keep going. You are closer than you think. That whisper is hope. It is the invisible force that keeps you moving when logic says to quit. It is the unseen hand that guides your feet when the path is rough. Hope is the difference between falling and flying. Now, think about how many times in history people faced impossible odds and yet refused to give up. Some of the greatest achievements, whether in science, art, leadership, or personal growth, were born from people who, against all odds, held on to hope. Thomas Edison, for example, famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, but he never lost hope, never believed those failures defined him. Instead, he saw each failure as a step closer to success. What if Edison had given up after his first attempt? The world might still be in darkness. This same principle applies to your life. That moment when you want to quit might just be the moment before you shine. But why is hope so powerful? Because hope is not just a wish or a passive feeling. It's an active choice. It's a decision to believe that the future can be better than the present, no matter how dark things look now. When hope fills your heart, it creates resilience. It gives you strength to rise again, to push through obstacles, to keep trying when the path is unclear. It's hope that fuels perseverance, and perseverance is what ultimately leads to success. Here's another thought. Sometimes it's not about changing the situation immediately, but about changing how you see the situation. Hope shifts your perspective from despair to possibility. When you hope, you focus on what can be rather than what is. It trains your mind to seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems. This mental shift is crucial because how we think influences how we act. If you think, "I'll never make it," your actions will reflect that defeat. But if you think, "I can overcome this," your actions become empowered and purposeful. What if I told you that hope is also connected to faith? Faith is believing in something greater than yourself. Whether you call it God, the universe, destiny, or a higher power, this faith gives hope a solid foundation. It tells you that even if you can't see the whole picture, there's a plan in motion. There's a reason why things happen the way they do, and there's a time when your efforts will be rewarded. This belief makes hope stronger and more enduring. You might ask, but what if I've waited so long and nothing has changed? That's a natural and honest question. The truth is, life often tests our hope through delays and hardships. Sometimes the things we want don't come quickly because we need to grow stronger, wiser, or more prepared. Think of a tree that doesn't grow overnight. It takes seasons, sun, rain, storms, to build deep roots and sturdy branches. In the same way, your journey towards success involves a process of growth that is invisible at first. Patience is part of hope. So, what can you do when you feel like giving up? First, remind yourself why you started. Remember the dream, the goal, the passion that first inspired you. Let that be your anchor. Second, surround yourself with positive influences, people who encourage and believe in you. Hope is contagious when shared. Third, practice gratitude. Recognizing the small blessings and progress you have can light the way forward. Lastly, keep taking small steps, even when they seem insignificant. Each step forward is a victory. In closing, I want you to hold this thought close. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often isn't talent, luck, or resources. It's hope. Hope is the spark that turns effort into achievement. It's the bridge between dreams and reality. So, when you feel like quitting, when the mountain looks too steep and the journey too long, remember this. The moment you decide not to give up is the moment success begins to move toward you. Never lose hope, because God, or the higher power you believe in, will surely grant you success when you keep the flame of hope alive. Hope is one of the most powerful forces that exist within the human spirit. It is more than just a fleeting feeling or a simple wish. Hope is the energy that drives us to keep moving forward, even when the road is difficult and the outcome uncertain. It is the light in the darkness, the voice that whispers, "Keep going," when everything inside you tells you to stop. The power of hope lies in its ability to transform despair into determination and obstacles into opportunities. When we face challenges, whether they are personal, professional, or spiritual, hope gives us a reason to continue. It is what keeps us from giving up when progress seems slow or invisible. Without hope, it's easy to become overwhelmed by setbacks and failures. But with hope, those same setbacks become lessons, and failures become stepping stones on the path to success. Hope allows us to see beyond the immediate difficulty and believe in a better future. Think about a time in your own life when hope made a difference. Perhaps you were in a situation where everything seemed lost. Maybe during a difficult exam, a health crisis, or a strained relationship. What if, during those moments, you had surrendered to despair instead of holding on to hope? The reality is that hope fuels resilience. It is the foundation of courage, giving you the strength to face hardships head on and the willingness to try again, even after disappointment. Psychologists have studied the impact of hope on human behavior, and their findings consistently show that hopeful people are more likely to set goals, develop strategies, and put in the effort needed to achieve success. Hope is not passive. It's an active, intentional mindset that propels people toward action. When you have hope, you believe in your ability to influence the future, and that belief motivates you to work toward positive change. One of the reasons hope is so powerful is that it affects not only our mindset, but also our physical well-being. Studies reveal that hopeful people tend to experience lower levels of stress, better immune function, and faster recovery from illness. When you are hopeful, your body releases chemicals that promote healing and resilience. In this way, hope nurtures both the mind and the body, creating a holistic foundation for overcoming challenges. Hope also shapes how we respond to adversity. When we encounter failures or disappointments, our initial reaction might be frustration, sadness, or even anger, but hope helps us shift perspective. Instead of seeing a failure as the end, hope encourages us to view it as a temporary setback or a learning opportunity. This shift in thinking is crucial because it influences our next steps. Rather than giving in to defeat, we find the energy to try again, adjust our approach, and persist with renewed determination. It is important to recognize that hope is not unrealistic or naive optimism. It does not ignore difficulties or pretend that problems do not exist. Instead, hope acknowledges reality but chooses to focus on possibilities. Hope says, yes, this is hard, but I believe there is a way through it. This balance between realism and optimism is what makes hope sustainable over time. It prevents us from being crushed by disappointment while keeping us motivated to keep moving forward. Hope also has a communal aspect. When people come together in hope, whether it's in families, communities, or movements, they create a collective strength that can overcome even the greatest challenges. History is filled with examples of individuals and groups who, fueled by hope, have brought about remarkable change. From social justice movements to scientific breakthroughs, hope has been the catalyst for progress. When we share our hope with others, we multiply its power and inspire those around us to believe in a better tomorrow. So, how can we cultivate hope in our own lives? It begins with mindset. We can choose to focus on what is possible rather than what is impossible. This means setting realistic goals and celebrating small victories along the way. It means surrounding ourselves with positive influences, people who encourage and support us rather than those who bring us down. It means practicing gratitude and recognizing the good that already exists, even in difficult times. Another way to nurture hope is through faith. Whether you believe in God, a higher power, or simply trust in the unfolding of life's journey, faith gives hope a deeper foundation. It reassures us that our efforts are not in vain and that there is a purpose behind our struggles. Faith helps us accept that some things are beyond our control and that trust in the process can bring peace amid uncertainty. Lastly, hope requires action. It is not enough to simply wish for a better future. We must take steps toward it. Hope motivates us to keep learning, growing, and striving for our dreams. It encourages persistence and resilience. When hope is combined with effort, it becomes unstoppable. In conclusion, the power of hope is immense. It sustains us through life's trials, fuels our resilience, and propels us toward success. Hope is not just a feeling, it is a choice, a powerful, active choice to believe that tomorrow can be better than today. When you embrace hope, you tap into a wellspring of strength and possibility that can transform your life. So, no matter what challenges you face, never underestimate the power of hope. Hold on to it tightly, nurture it daily, and watch how it leads you toward the success and fulfillment you deserve. Faith in a higher plan is a concept that transcends religious boundaries and touches the core of human experience. It is the belief that beyond what we see, beyond what we understand, there is a greater force guiding the course of our lives. This belief offers comfort and clarity during times of uncertainty, confusion, and struggle. When we embrace faith in a higher plan, we begin to see that success is not merely a product of our efforts or luck, but often unfolds through a divine or universal timing that we may not immediately comprehend. Imagine for a moment the vastness of the universe and how intricate and interconnected everything is, from the tiniest atom to the largest galaxies. In this grand design, our lives are threads woven into a bigger tapestry. Sometimes we become frustrated because we cannot see how our individual story fits into this vast picture. We ask ourselves, why am I facing these hardships? Why does success seem delayed? The idea of a higher plan suggests that there is purpose behind these questions and that the answers may reveal themselves in time. Faith in a higher plan encourages patience and trust. It reminds us that life is not always about immediate results, but about growth, learning, and preparation. Just as a farmer plants seeds and waits for the right season to harvest, we must plant our efforts and trust that the right time will come. This faith allows us to navigate setbacks without despair because we believe they serve a purpose in our journey. When we have faith, we shift from trying to control every outcome to surrendering to the flow of life. This surrender is not giving up. It's an active acceptance that we do not have all the answers and that sometimes the best course of action is to trust the process. This mindset reduces anxiety and opens us to possibilities we might otherwise miss. By relinquishing the need for immediate control, we become more adaptable and open to opportunities that align with our higher purpose. Faith also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, it is easy to feel isolated and defeated, but faith reminds us that we are not alone, that a higher power or universal intelligence is working behind the scenes. This belief offers comfort and courage to keep going when the path is difficult. It provides a sense of meaning that transforms suffering into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Moreover, faith helps us make sense of delays and detours. Often, when success doesn't come on our timetable, we interpret it as failure. However, faith teaches us that these delays may be necessary for our personal growth or for better opportunities to emerge. Sometimes, what we perceive as a setback is actually a redirection towards something greater. This perspective helps us stay hopeful and persistent instead of discouraged. Another vital aspect of faith in a higher plan is humility. Faith humbles us by acknowledging that there are forces greater than ourselves shaping the course of events. This humility fosters gratitude as we recognize that success is not just about personal effort, but also about grace, timing, and the contributions of others. Gratitude opens the heart and invites more blessings, creating a positive cycle that supports our journey. Faith also encourages us to act with integrity and purpose. Knowing that our lives have meaning beyond immediate outcomes motivates us to align our actions with values like kindness, honesty, and perseverance. This alignment creates a solid foundation for lasting success, one that is not easily shaken by external circumstances. When our actions are rooted in faith and purpose, we find peace regardless of the outcome. Importantly, faith does not guarantee an easy path, but it guarantees that the journey has meaning. It invites us to see every experience, whether joyful or painful, as part of a divine curriculum designed to teach us, shape us, and prepare us for what lies ahead. This perspective transforms how we experience life. Instead of resisting hardships, we embrace them as opportunities for growth. For many, faith is nurtured through prayer, meditation, reflection, or connection with nature. These practices help quiet the mind, open the heart, and deepen trust in the unseen. They provide moments of clarity and reassurance that the higher plan is at work. Engaging in such practices regularly strengthens our faith muscle and makes it easier to hold on to belief during challenging times. It's also worth noting that faith in a higher plan is deeply personal. It can be expressed in countless ways depending on individual beliefs and experiences. What matters most is that this faith provides a framework that encourages hope, patience, and perseverance. It is a lens through which we interpret life's complexities and find meaning beyond the immediate. In summary, faith in a higher plan is a powerful source of strength and guidance on the road to success. It helps us embrace patience, accept uncertainty, and trust that our efforts are part of a larger design. This faith transforms challenges into opportunities, delays into preparation, and suffering into growth. It teaches humility and gratitude while motivating us to act with integrity and purpose. When we hold on to this faith, we find peace amid trials and are empowered to keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that success will come in its perfect time. Hope is a powerful and necessary force for achieving success, but it doesn't simply happen on its own. It requires conscious effort and practical habits to nurture and sustain hope, especially when life presents challenges that test our spirit. Cultivating hope is like tending a garden. You must plant the right seeds, water them consistently, remove weeds, and give them sunlight to grow strong. In the same way, maintaining hope and moving toward success involves deliberate actions that build resilience, positivity, and determination. The first step in cultivating hope is persistence. Success rarely comes overnight. It is the result of consistent effort, repeated attempts, and the willingness to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow or invisible. When faced with obstacles, it's easy to become discouraged and want to quit. But persistence means committing to the journey regardless of temporary setbacks. This might look like continuing to study after failing an exam, applying for jobs even after rejections, or practicing a skill even when improvement seems minimal. Each small act of persistence is a victory that strengthens hope, because it proves to yourself that you are not defeated. Closely linked to persistence is the development of a positive mindset. How we think about ourselves and our circumstances greatly influences our ability to hold on to hope. A positive mindset does not mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it means choosing to focus on possibilities and solutions rather than problems and limitations. It means speaking to yourself with kindness and encouragement instead of harsh criticism. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," you might say, "This is difficult, but I will find a way." This shift in inner dialogue helps keep hope alive and motivates action. Another practical way to cultivate hope is through setting realistic, achievable goals. Goals provide direction and purpose. They break down large dreams into manageable steps, which makes progress tangible. When you achieve these smaller goals, no matter how modest, you experience a sense of accomplishment that fuels hope. It's important that these goals are specific and measurable so you can clearly see your progress. For instance, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," you might say, "I will complete this course in the next 3 months," or "I will apply to 5 jobs each week." These concrete steps create momentum. Equally important is the practice of gratitude. It might seem unrelated at first, but gratitude is a powerful tool for maintaining hope. When you regularly acknowledge the good things in your life, you create a positive emotional environment that counteracts despair. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, reminding you that even in difficult times there are blessings and reasons to be hopeful. Keeping a gratitude journal, or simply pausing each day to reflect on 3 things you're thankful for, can dramatically improve your outlook and sustain hope. Support from others plays a crucial role in nurturing hope. Humans are social beings, and connection with encouraging and positive people strengthens our resolve. When you surround yourself with individuals who believe in you and your dreams, their hope can become contagious. They can remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself and provide practical help or advice. On the other hand, spending time with negative or discouraging people can drain your hope, so be intentional about the company you keep. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities that uplift and inspire you. Faith or spiritual practice is another profound source of hope. Whether through prayer, meditation, or simply spending time in nature, connecting with something greater than yourself can offer comfort and strength. Faith helps us surrender the need to control every detail and trust that there is a plan working behind the scenes. This trust brings peace and renews hope, especially when the path ahead is unclear. Spiritual practices can also provide a daily ritual that centers your mind and reinforces your belief in a hopeful future. Taking care of your physical health is often overlooked, but is vital for sustaining hope. When your body is tired, stressed, or unhealthy, it's harder to stay hopeful and motivated. Simple habits such as regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate sleep improve your energy levels and mental clarity. Physical wellness supports emotional and psychological resilience, making it easier to face challenges with a hopeful spirit. It is also important to be flexible and adaptable. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Being rigid in your expectations can lead to frustration and loss of hope when things don't go your way. Instead, cultivate an attitude of openness to change and learning. Sometimes, detours or failures redirect us to better opportunities or new paths we hadn't imagined. Viewing change as a chance for growth rather than a setback keeps hope alive. Finally, remember to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Acknowledging your efforts and wins reinforces hope by showing you that success is possible and within reach. Whether it's completing a difficult task, overcoming a fear, or simply maintaining your hopeful mindset during tough times, take time to appreciate these moments. Celebrations renew your energy and commitment to continue. In conclusion, cultivating hope and achieving success is a dynamic process that involves persistence, a positive mindset, goal setting, gratitude, supportive relationships, faith, physical wellness, adaptability, and celebration. Hope is not just an emotion but a practice that requires intention and effort. By integrating these practical steps into your daily life, you build a strong foundation that sustains you through challenges and propels you toward your dreams. Remember, hope is a choice you make every day, and with that choice comes the power to transform your life and reach the success you desire.